So what if your furniture was grown, not built? I mean, really think about it. Imagine looking around your living room right now and knowing that your chair, your coffee table, even the cushions you're sitting on weren't mined from the earth or whipped up in some chemical plant. What if they were actually rescued from the agricultural waste bin and grown from the ground up? It honestly sounds like straight-up science fiction, but amazingly, this is happening right now.
Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive shift in how we literally create our world. We are finally moving away from that old, destructive model of just extracting and mining materials, and instead, we're uncovering some absolutely incredible circular innovations in the materials we use every day for furniture and interior architecture.
Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The green material revolution. 2. Reimagining wood and timber. 3. Next-generation vegan leathers. 4. Bio-based foams and adhesives. And finally, 5. The zero-waste future.
All right, Section 1. The Green Material Revolution. Let's set the stakes here.
For decades now, traditional manufacturing has heavily relied on synthetic plastics and petrochemicals. And you already know the story. They pollute the environment and just accumulate in our ecosystems. But to put the sheer urgency of this into perspective, consider this number: 30%. The damage caused by plastics breaking down into microplastics is so severe right now that the European Union has set a firm, legal target to reduce microplastics by 30% by the year 2030. That is a massive mandate, and it's forcing the entire industry to completely rethink the very DNA of their products.
You know that cheap synthetic plastic glitter used in fashion and upholstery? The stuff that inevitably washes right into our waterways as microplastics? Well, compare that to this brilliant solution developed by students at Aalto University: natural wooden crystals. These wooden crystals actually shimmer and shine in different colors, giving us a stunning, completely microplastic-free alternative. It's the perfect example showing that eco-friendly design doesn't mean you have to sacrifice beauty or luxury at all. It just means finding a way to work in harmony with nature.
Moving on to Section 2, Reimagining Wood and Timber, taking it from waste to structure. So instead of chopping down new forests, it turns out we can just use agricultural leftovers and sawmill waste to create the structural bones of our furniture. And check out this number: 1,689 kilograms. That is the massive amount of carbon dioxide absorbed by just one single cubic meter of a material called strumber. It's this revolutionary plant-based alternative created from annual plants like hemp and flax, plus agricultural byproducts like straw. It's exceptionally durable, and by utilizing these leftovers, strumber dramatically drops the demand for traditional wood, which directly prevents excessive deforestation. It's a total win-win.
And it's not just the materials. The actual manufacturing process is transforming just as fast. Traditional mass production basically relies on keeping high inventory, and it generates just a massive amount of material waste. But new alternatives, like Eco-Nightwood technology, completely flip the script. By repurposing wood leftovers from sawmills and using 3D printing technology, everything is made to order. This zero-waste philosophy ensures we effectively use every single particle of raw material, which keeps the wood's inherent CO2 absorption completely intact.
This all builds into a completely circular manufacturing loop. Just look at the Adwood project over in Germany. First, you mix leftover sawdust with a water-soluble natural binder to form a paste. Next, you literally 3D print your furniture. To keep energy consumption incredibly low, the printed objects are dried using just a simple cold air stream. And honestly, the true magic? If you ever decide you don't want the chair anymore, you can just shred the parts and use them for completely new prints. You get the structural strength of chipboard, but with this highly irregular total creative freedom.
It's honestly amazing to see the sustainable toolbox for designers just growing every single day. I mean, we're now seeing things like hemp and mycelium sandwich panels for structural integrity. We're seeing super robust industrial hemp fabrics for upholstery, and even compostable PHB printing filament for custom 3D printed joints and fixtures.
Which brings us to Section 3, Next-Generation Vegan Leathers, turning trash into treasure. The breadth of this revolution is kind of wild. We are quite literally turning trash into treasure. Just look at some of these. We've got brands like Ohoskin using orange waste combined with bio-based polymers. Volkswagen is actually using the silver skin of coffee beans as a filler material for the imitation leather in their cars. Then you have TreeKind utilizing ermine plant and forestry waste to make a plastic-free alternative. And of course, our oceans and forests are chiming in with seaweed leather and mushroom leather. Everyday agricultural leftovers are entirely replacing those toxic fossil fuel-based polymers.
One truly fascinating standout we found is Scobitech. They are using biofabricated bacterial nanocellulose. Yeah, you heard that right, bacteria. They're developing sustainable vegan materials for both the textile and automotive industries. It is just an incredible way to replace not only traditional animal leather, but also those fossil-based polymers that have dominated synthetic leathers for way too long.
And the really crucial point here is that we are moving toward a benchmark of absolute purity in materials. Take Mirum, for example. It's an alternative to animal leather that is 100% plastic-free, 100% fossil fuel-free, and remarkably, completely water-free. What you really should take away from this is that next-generation materials aren't just about reducing harm anymore. They are about the complete, total elimination of synthetic plastics from the manufacturing equation, period.
All right, Section 4. Bio-based foams and adhesives, the hidden binders holding it all together.
Because look, even if you have the most sustainable wood and the absolute most eco-friendly leather, if you stuff it with toxic foam cushioning and glues, you kind of ruin the entire product, right? For a long time, the industry standard was petrochemical polyurethane foam, fossil fuel-based and heavily chemical. But now, we are seeing incredible bio-based replacements. We've got Agos seaweed foam, completely free from petrochemicals. We also have the Encave Group engineering circular, biodegradable PUR replacements for mattresses and seats, actively cutting down CO2 emissions.
And it doesn't stop at the foam. Even the unseen heroes, the glues and the stitches, are joining the green transformation. Projects like Adligno are creating completely formaldehyde-free wood adhesives out of natural lignin. We're seeing a huge surge in lignin-based compounds overall. And companies like Climatex are designing circular textiles with stitching that can be safely and easily separated at the end of the product's life.
You have to hear about this one, FLAM, or fungal-like adhesive materials. It's a biodegradable composite inspired by the cell walls of fungi. And what's so amazing is that FLAM organizes the two most abundant natural molecules in their native configuration. The result? A lightweight, incredibly durable adhesive engineered entirely without organic solvents or synthetic materials. Even better, it can be locally produced as part of natural ecological cycles. We are basically replacing toxic chemical factories with natural biological organization. It's brilliant.
Which brings us to Section 5, the zero-waste future, building an ecosystem of design.
When you pull back and put all these pieces together, the structural frames, the beautiful surfaces, and those hidden biological glues, you get a fully sustainable circular manufacturing ecosystem. This quote really beautifully summarizes the ultimate goal of this entire green transformation movement, a synthesis of freedom and precision without the generation of waste. We are no longer limited by wasteful woodworking or those toxic chemical dependencies. We actually have the freedom to design complex geometries with total precision, all while actively protecting the planet. So I want to leave you with one final provocative question to chew on. If the chair you're sitting on right now, the desk you're working at, and the leather in your car can be made from coffee silver skins, orange waste, seaweed, and fungus, what else in your home could be grown instead of built? The materials of the future are literally hiding in plain sight. Thanks so much for exploring this with me today. Keep looking closely at the materials around you, and as always, stay curious.